Hi, this is Carlo Kriekels, co-founder of the Yes Institute, and we're talking about the 9 key components of peer mentoring. Many of you were at the symposium last year here in Colorado, the Colorado Statewide Mentoring Symposium, where I provided a workshop called Peer Mentoring, the Next Generation. The Next Generation in Space! So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight in some of the many concepts that we're providing in this audio course. So I'm going to talk to you briefly about the 5 R's. And the 5 R's are, actually the 5 R's not just of peer mentoring, also of any form of mentoring. And so they are role models, relationships, relevant, relatable, and responsible. This counts also for a regular adult to child mentoring. So all of these 5 have to be in place to have that so much desired impact between the mentor and the mentee. So what I will talk about briefly is about how this translates to peer mentoring. So the peer mentors are role models. And the big part about what we will be talking about in this audio course is that how do you train your peer mentors to be the role models? What is the philosophy that you have that these peer mentors are truly stepping up to the level that they can be role models and mentors for those younger students, being them maybe in high school, middle school, or elementary school, whatever your peer mentoring program is doing. It could be, you could have a faith-based agency, you could do it inside your church. So it doesn't really matter. But what's very important is that these peer mentors are being trained and being supported, that they can be the role models, so that they, as a big part of it is that they are truly walking the talk, that they are, whatever they are asking and demanding from the mentees, that they are demonstrating that, not only in what they're saying, but what they are doing in their behavior. They cannot say to the mentee, hey, no texting. In the meantime, they're texting. Or, hey, don't talk to your buddies. In the meantime, they're talking to their buddies. Of course, it would not work. So the big part is that the peer mentors, that they have to be role models. And it requires a lot of training and coaching in order to do that. And that's something we spend a lot of time on in the audio course, and the different levels of training and coaching of your peer mentors. Because to a great extent, the less mature your mentor is, the more training and coaching and structure you have to have in place for your mentors and for your program to have the outcomes that you desire. Of course, mentoring is all about relationships. So it's very important that these mentors learn about how to build functional, productive relationships so that they can build that connection to the mentee, and that the mentee feels that he or she has a relationship, because that's truly why this mentee is having impact. The mentee must feel that she or he feels connected. It feels that this is somebody I can trust. This is somebody who understands what I'm saying. Which actually brings us to another one, is that that the mentoring relationship has to be relevant. So let's say you have a school-based mentoring program, that the curriculum that you bring there, that it's relevant. And one of the ways to do that is by asking actually your mentors and your mentees. So if you're the adult who's running the program, don't just assume what the curriculum should be. The true inclusiveness is all about you actually reaching out to your mentors, you reaching out to your mentees and say, what is it that you need most help with? Where do you think that this mentee is struggling with the most? Or just ask your mentee, what are you struggling with the most? Well, you know, people are talking stuff about me, or I don't know how to deal with this teacher, or whatever it is that he or she is dealing with, so that you can provide a curriculum that is relevant, so that you have this peer mentoring framework and you infuse it with a curriculum that is relevant for the mentee, and whatever curriculum that you want to do, which drives the outcomes of your program, but that it is relevant, and that it's being perceived not only by you as being relevant, but by the mentors and the mentees as well. As I mentioned briefly, in relationships, to build the relationships, to build this trust, what's really helping with this is that, and I think that's one of the strengths of peer mentoring. The strength of peer mentoring is that the peer mentor is relatable. I think the biggest struggle or the biggest obstacle that I hear over having trained probably close to 5,000 adult mentors is that it's so hard for them to connect to that child. And so if that child does not feel that connection, then she or he is not going to open up. And the mentor feels that he or she does not have an impact. So what are you going to do? They're not going to show up anymore, and they're going to burn out, and here the agency loses another mentor. So I believe that peer mentoring has a tremendous advantage where lots of times a peer mentor is somebody who comes from a similar background. Similar background maybe with regards to ethnicity, maybe regarding to socioeconomic background, the neighborhoods that they come from. So this mentor has a similar background, and so the mentor knows or has lived the obstacles that the mentee is facing. And so therefore the mentor can really on a very deep level empathize with that mentee and relate to this mentee and talk to the mentee about how he or she was struggling with some of the challenges that the mentee is having, and how did she overcome this. And so now they really built a strong connection, and the mentee looks up to the mentor and saying, gosh, she is just like me. I'm dealing with the exact same, and you know what? I thought this was a hurdle I could not overcome. And now she is actually the walking example that I can overcome this. So that makes the mentor very relatable to the mentee. And again, they have to be trained for that. Again, the training of the mentors is absolutely essential. And of course, the big part is that, and that's what some people might think is a downfall of peer mentoring, is that the mentors or the peer mentors are not responsible enough. And we have only found evidence to the contrary, is that once the peer mentor has been given that responsibility and ownership and accountability of this program in working with this younger student, and they feel that level of ownership, as I mentioned, they will step up. And they will be extremely responsible. And they will be the role models who build the relationships and will participate in these relevant activities and will be extremely relatable. But again, that responsibility has to be brought to these mentors, because many of these mentors have not had that level of responsibility before, where somebody is looking up to them. Maybe in their family, but never in a different, never maybe in a formal way of leadership. So here, this gives you one idea of the concepts that we bring in the audio course. As I say, the 5 R's. It is role models. You look at the relationships that they build, that the curriculum, be very sure that your curriculum or whatever you bring as the kind of the content of the relationship, that it's relevant to all the parties. That you teach the mentor to be relatable, and I believe that's a strength of the peer mentoring part, and to support the mentor what it means to be responsible. There you have it. In the meantime, in the wise words of Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you.